So we have been studying about the chapter stability of slopes of the geotechnical engineering. So in this chapter, we have studied what are the various types of slopes, causes of slope failures, types of slope failures, factor of safety, and how we can analyze the slope stability using method of slices that we have discussed in the last lectures. So now we shall begin the another topic, that is the Taylor stability number. Taylor carried out a stability analysis of a large number of homogeneous soil slopes having various heights, slope angles, and soil properties. You can see the 5 parameters he considered in the analysis of different slopes having different heights, different slope angles, and definitely different soil properties like density, cohesion, and angle of shearing resistance using friction circle method. He used the friction circle method for the stability analysis of various slopes. So what was his observation? What he found that when the equilibrium of a finite slope is considered, it is his observation, right? The weight of soil contributes the driving forces and cohesion C to the resisting forces. So cohesion is going to contribute in resisting forces, whereas the weight of the soil causing the driving forces. So this was his observation for the finite slope when the slope is in equilibrium. So what he found, these two forces, density and the C, cohesion, are uniformly distributed throughout the soil mass for equilibrium to be true, right? Once the finite slope is equilibrium, so what he found that, and what is his suggestion, that the density and cohesion will be uniformly distributed throughout the slope materials. So he has said that it may be assumed that the critical height or the maximum possible height of a slope should be directly proportional to the cohesion and inversely proportional to the density. What do you mean by critical height? We can see the critical height SC is the depth at which the shear stress and the shearing strength are equal, right? That is called as critical depth, HC. So critical height, what he said, critical height also depends upon the angle of shearing resistance phi and angle of slope I. And mathematically, he expressed that critical height, in the previous slides, as we found, that critical height is directly proportional to the cohesion and inversely proportional to the density. But further, what he suggested, what he said, that no, it also depends upon the phi and I. So the function of phi and I also he incorporated in this equation. But Tarjagi called this function f, function of the phi and I, as the stability factor, right? And the reciprocal of this, that means 1 by function of phi and I, is called as a stability number, right? Or we can say stability number is equal to 1 by phi I, or f, or function of phi and I, is equal to 1 by Sn. Sn is the stability number. So we can write further the SC is equal to C by gamma Sn, because 1 by Sn is equal to the stability factor, function of phi and I. So we can see the further we can write this equation as a stability number is equal to C by gamma SC. How we can write? We can see the factor of safety with respect to cohesion is also equal to SC by H, right? So SC is equal to FC into H, right? So in place of SC, if you are going to write replace these values SC by FC into H, we can get the stability number C by FC into gamma H. Here you can see stability number is equal to C by gamma SC. So in place of SC, we can also write FC into H. So this is the stability number. Now further, H is the height of the slope with a factor of safety, FC, and FC is nothing but it is the ratio of a critical height to the height of the slope. Now we can see Taylor stability chart. Taylor determined the values of stability number for finite slopes using friction circle method. Slopes that are simple section and of homogeneous swells may be analyzed using the slope stability chart given by the Taylor. So what he has said, he has prepared the charts. The charts are prepared using the stability number SN, stability number for the various slopes, and accordingly for the various slope angles. So he developed the chart, the slope angle at x-axis and stability number on the y-axis. So there are 5 parameters in this chart. It has been used. You can see the cohesion and angle of shearing resistance, density of swell, H is the height of slope, and I the angle of slope. Suppose if phi is equal to 0, that means swell is cohesive. That means what we can say? That the slope material is purely cohesive swell. So in that case, he incorporated the 6 parameters that is called a depth factor, right? And the depth factors, how he explained, you can see the parameters df depends upon the depth of hard strata. This is the hard strata below top of the slope. Hard strata below the top of the slope. This is the top of the slopes. So up to what at what depth the hard strata is there. So further he df we can write depth of hard stratum below the top of the slope. This is the top of the slope. So h plus d divided by height of the slope. Like that also we can write. Further, so what will the values of df for the toe failures? It will be equal to 1, because you can see here this h plus d here, in this case it is going to become h equal to h. So h plus d by h, yani h plus d is equal to h. So df will be 1 for the toe failures, and for base failures it will, you can see that h plus d will be definitely greater than h. So h plus d divided by h is equal to df. The df will be greater than 1 in this case. In this case, depth factor will be less than 1. So now we can see the chart. On the x-axis slope angle is there, and on y-axis slope stability number. And in the chart you can see the values of df, the curve for the df, the diagram for the df has also been given. For df, if df is 1, df is 1.5, df is 2, like that he has drawn the chart, the graphs. And the angle of shearing resistance is also given, right? So what is the use of this chart? We can see a stability number can be used to determine the factor of safety of a given slope. If from this chart, if you are going to know the values of a stability number, definitely you can find out the factor of safety of a particular slopes. So how we can interpret these values? For known values of I and phi, see, the I is the angle of slope and phi is the angle of shearing resistance. So Sn we can find out. Suppose at 40 degree 1, 2, the angle of slope is 40 degree, and accordingly the phi is 25 degree. So what we can do? We shall draw a vertical line. Wherever it cuts the phi, then we can draw a horizontal line which will cut the stability number at this point. So this is the stability number which we can utilize for the determination of factor of safety. So a factor of safety we can find out by this formula. We have this formula already we have seen in the previous slide. Suppose phi is 0, then for known values of I and depth factor, I is known and depth factor is known. So for this, if these two values are known, on that basis, we can find out the stability number. So this is the usefulness of the chart. Now, we shall proceed for the next topic, that is planar failure surface or Kalman's method. That means we have already discussed the method of slope stability analysis using method of slices, that is called a Swedish circle method. So now how we can analyze the slope using the Kalman's methods, that we shall discuss. And I have also told you that various softwares are available in the market. That's softwares, or those softwares are based on the different slope stability methodology, right? So Kalman's method, we can see here, Kalman's considered a simple failure mechanism of a slope of homogeneous slab with a plane failures passing through the toe of the slope. AD is the slope, AB is the failure plane, right? And we are talking, Kalman has explained this, his idea for the slope stability analysis for the plane failures, right? So you can see it is not a circular failure, it is a plane failure. So AB is the failure plane, which is passing through the toe of the slope. AD is the slope. So it is also written here, let AB be the probable slip plane. The wedge ADB is in equilibrium under the three forces. See, actually, when the failure is going to take place, we have also seen, we have discussed in the previous slide, the wedge failures, right? Or a plane failures. So you can see the ADB, the wedge, which is going to fail on this plane, AB. Okay. So this ADB, which is the wedge, weight of the wedge, are in equilibrium under the three forces. What are the forces? The weight of the wedge W, which is working in the downward directions and also causing the driving force, right? So how we can calculate the wedge ADB? ADB, we can see 1/2. AB is the base and height is the h, and per unit length. So 1/2 AB into h is the area of this triangle ADB, and per unit length we are going to take, so it will become volume. So volume into density of the slope material will give you the weight of the wedge W, right? Volume into density. That we can also write, because the length of the AB is equal to L. On the next force, you can see cohesive force C along the surface AB. Actually, cohesive forces are going to resist the sliding. So in that case, you can see CM is the mobilized cohesion that wants to create shear stresses. So C, for balancing force C, will be equal to mobilized cohesion into length of the plane, AB, failure plane. So this C will be equal to Cm into L, and R is the reaction inclined at angle phi m. Phi m is mobilized angle of shearing resistance. So these three forces are equilibriums, right? Now we can see AD is equal to, you can see this AD, the height is the h, and this angle, the failure plane AB is inclined at theta, and the slope angle is I, right? So you can see here I minus theta, this angle will be I minus theta, and the height is h. So what we can write? The sine I minus theta is equal to h by AD, h by AD. So further, AD also we can write h by sine I minus theta. Another, we can see this triangle, the dotted line, the height is h, and D is there. So you can see this angle, slope angle is I. So definitely this angle will also be I, right? So what we can write? Sine I is equal to, this is the perpendicular, and this will be the perpendicular, and this will be hypotenuse. So what we can say, sine I is equal to the h by sine I is equal to h by AD, right? So AD we can also write capital H by sine I. So further, since these both are equal, so the small h, this perpendicular distance, we can calculate by this equation. A small h is equal to h into sine I minus theta by sine I. So once we know the values of small h, that we can incorporate in the this equation 1. So if you are going to incorporate the small h in this equation, what we shall get? W is shall get 1 by 2 L into gamma into h sine I minus theta by sine I. We shall get like this. If C and phi are the shear strength parameters of the slope materials, so shear strength along the slip plane, we can calculate by using the Mohr-Coulomb equation. Tau F is the shear strength, C plus sigma tan phi. So C is the cohesion, right? And sigma normal stress, sigma is the normal, so W cos theta. We can see this figure also. This is the W, and the W we can resolve in two ways. One is the normal stress and second is the tangential stress, right? So sigma, this is the sigma, and it is inclined at, this is theta, okay? So this will also be theta. And further, this is the normal, so 90 minus theta. So this is 90 minus theta. So further, we can see this is the weight W. This will become theta, and again it will become 90 minus theta. So what we can write, the normal stress sigma is equal to, this is W cos theta. So C plus W cos theta into tan phi. So shear strength we can write like this way. Further, the weight of component parallel to the plane AB causing sliding. As I told you, the W is going to be resolved in two parts, the normal components and the tangential components. So normal components is the sigma is equal to W cos theta, and tangential components, which is going to contribute in sliding. So that we can write, you can see W on this plane AB, W cos 90 minus theta. So to cos 90 minus theta is equal to W sin theta. So what will be the factor of safety? Shear strength by shear stress. Like that we can write. In the next slides we can see. Therefore, factor of safety is equal to C plus W cos theta into tan phi by W sin theta. Likewise we can write. So here also we have to substitute the values of W, which we have achieved in the previous slides. We have written also. So if you are going to substitute the values of W, we shall get this equation. Further, we can simplify it, right? After simplifying, we shall get these values, right? So sigma M, immobilized cohesion, I already know that the C by FC, that means factor of safety with respect to cohesion is equal to C by CM. And factor of safety with respect to angle of shearing resistance, we can write here tan phi by tan phi m. So phi m is the mobilized angle of shearing resistance that we can write in this form. Now, considering the AB with a failure plane, this is the AB with a failure plane, right? Which is inclined at angle theta, and also referring to the forced triangle, right? So the forced triangle, based on the forced triangle and using the sine rule, what we can find, Cm into L, this is the C is equal to Cm into L. The Cm into L is by sine I minus theta minus phi m, theta minus phi m, as per the sine rule. Similarly, W by, this is W by sine 90 plus phi m. So sine 90 plus phi m is equal to cos phi m. So further, we can write Cm into L divided by sine theta minus phi m is equal to W by cos phi m. So again, here we are also going to substitute the values of W. So if this is the equation which we have seen in the previous slide. So if you are going to substitute the value of W, we shall get the equation in this form. Further, the CM, L and L, we can strike out. It is on both the side. So CM divided by gamma H will be equal to this. So Cm by gamma H is nothing but it is the stability number. So if you are going to solve this equation, sin I is equal to 1 by sin I is equal to cosec I, and this will be equal to 1 by sec phi m. So we shall solve these equations, and Cm by gamma H, as I told you, it is the stability number. Now we can see, for failure to occur, the stability number has to be maximum. So for that, what we have to do? We have to differentiate the stability number, which is equal to 0. So in other words, the most dangerous plane is that for which the angle theta is equal to critical angle theta c is such that Sn becomes maximum. So if you are going to differentiate the stability number with respect to 0, right? Definitely it will be once the stability number will be maximum, then the failure is going to occur, right? So we can see after difference, you can differentiate, as we know, the Sn is equal to these equations we have already seen in the previous slides. So if you are going to differentiate it, we shall get the value like this way, right? This is the constant which we are taking out. So after differentiation, we shall get the values of tan theta minus phi m, because sin theta minus phi m here cos sin theta minus phi m. So we can, this will be tan theta minus phi m, and again sin I minus theta by cos I minus theta will be tan I minus theta. So further, we can write theta minus phi m is equal to I minus theta. So 2 theta is equal to I plus phi m. So theta is equal to theta c is the critical slope angle, right? And we get theta c, we can get 1 by 2 I plus phi m. Like that we can write from here. So this gives the angle of inclination of critical slip plane. And this method, Kalman method, is very suitable for the steep slopes, right? So this is about our today topic. So tomorrow we shall discuss about the next topic.